Well, let's get talking today now, and two very interesting conversations. Nigeria's tax system has long been criticized for being fragmented, complex, and difficult to navigate. With multiple laws governing income tax, capital gains, VAT, and stamp duties, compliance often required expert intervention. In June 2025, the federal government took a decisive step to address these challenges by signing 4 major tax legislations into law. These include the Nigerian Tax Act 2025, the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025, the Joint Revenue Board of Nigeria's Act 2025, and the Nigerian Revenue Act 2025. All have become laws at the moment. Together, these laws introduced a unified and modern tax regime designed to streamline administrations, close loopholes, and improve transparency. The new system officially took effect from January 1st, 2026, giving individuals and businesses a limited window to, well, some will say, to understand and prepare for these changes. Now, one of the most significant reforms is the consolidation of income and capital gains taxation. Previously, companies paid income tax under the Companies Income Tax Act at 30%, while capital's gain were taxed separately at 10%. Under the new Nigerian Tax Act, all company profits, including capital gains, are combined and taxed at a flat rate of 30%. This means businesses must now consider the tax implications of asset sales as part of their overall profit planning. Let's get deep into this. As always, educate Nigerians the more. The president of the West African Union of Tax Institutes is also the former president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Mr. Samuel Agbeluyi, is in the house for us to get talking. Good afternoon. It's good to have you in the studio today for this discussion.
Good to be here, Tulu.
Thank you very much. Well, like we discussed off camera, let's start that conversation here and let Nigerians hear us.
Okay, that's good.
Where are we with regards to implementation? How feasible do you think this would be, considering the misconceptions, misinformations, and all that we've seen, social media and everywhere? That's where I think we should start this conversation. What do you make of the implementation of the tax laws as we move on?
Okay, thank you very much, Tulu, once again. The implementation has actually started.
Yes.
Today
yes.
is 22nd of January. So good that we are here. It's been implemented for at least minimum 21 days. There's no doubt that effectively the implementation has commenced, and I see a lot of goodies ahead of us. The central to this implementation, to the successful implementation, is a political will. We need the will of the government as led by President Tinubu. And there's no doubt that in the course of putting together this new act, that he has demonstrated that. So we need, because without political will from the political leaders,
yes,
the implementation will be a little bit not good or smooth. So to that extent, at the center of the implementation is political will. And by virtue of what I know, I have no doubt, because it's been demonstrated already, that that political will be available at the federal level. But
which is very important.
Which is very important. But the implementation is not about federal government alone. The state government, the local government have their roles. And I have my reservation about what will happen at the state level. We have seen every now and then where state governors give directive to few state chairmen of Internal Revenue Service as to what to do. And so you can't eat your cake and have it. It's either you allow the various state Internal Revenue chairmen to implement the laws the way they are, and you also need to give autonomy, the kind of autonomy that FRS has, now Nigerian Revenue Service, the kind of autonomy they have that have made them to perform very well over the years, that must be given to the state Internal Revenue Services. If you still do political appointment in getting those who will run your various state Internal Revenue Service on board, then you are not going to get the desired result. We have about 5, 6, 10 states that are already autonomous. So, but other states need to follow suit. So once the political will is there, the infrastructure is there, definitely there will be teething problem. From what I have seen, because I'm a tax practitioner, that's what I do for a living. Yeah. So from what I've seen in the past 20, 19 days, as the case may be, I think the implementation has taken off very well. And so we will learn from whatever is the teething problem.
Because, you know, there are a lot of concerns being raised across the board. One very important one as it relates to the stock market. You know what happened with the capital gains tax. And, of course, we've all been educated when we looked at it that really what level of transactions do some of those that were protesting, what level of transactions do they actually run at the exchange? But can you give us maybe 1 or 2 clarities into the positives of this law for Nigerians?
The positive are enormous.
Honestly, but is it sinking down? Are people getting to understand this?
You see, I think this government is suffering from the age-long trust deficit.
Thank you.
Trust deficit has been in system. And so leadership is a continuum. So the president cannot run, the current leadership cannot run away from what has happened before now. And they also need to do a lot, even convincing people about their own, where they stand. So the various misinformation that we have seen out there is out of the way our leaders have kind of disappointed us over the years. And so if we must go forward, that must be, we must see clearly. And don't forget, we are talking of tax revenue.
Yes.
This is somebody's sweat. I have 100 naira and you are getting 20 naira out of it. So the money in my hand, we are both struggling for it.
Yes.
So the moment I part away with certain part of that money, I want you to spend it properly. So that is the issue. So now, there are a lot of things. And why people are not rejoicing, I don't know. You'll be paying X amount of money before now, by virtue of the act we had before now. And the law is saying you will pay again. And you are the one we are seeing on the social media complaining. You are the one we are seeing on the social media complaining. If you are a middle class person, the rate applicable to your income has slightly reduced, meaning that there is no increase, and you are the one complaining. The big people, those who have the billions, we are not seeing them outside to complain. Possibly you are a proxy to these big people. So we should all be happy, and let us test it. And again, there's no perfect document anywhere in the world. Should there, in the course of implementation, should there be any aspect? Taxation is dynamic. So even if everything is perfect, in another 1 month, because taxation follows the economy. So the economic dynamics will change. And so the moment that dynamics change, of course, you need to change the tax law. And President Buhari did very well in this regard by the way he was coming with the Finance Act to look at areas to kind of patch, if you permit me to use that word, to patch the old act. So by this time around, we even have a brand new one. But so should there be any reason to change any aspect of that? Come up with an amendment or Finance Act to change that. So I see everything good about this, and I think Nigerians should celebrate it.
But do you think that the understanding is getting better than when it started? Mr. Oyedele has been doing a lot of work. Honestly, I don't envy him. I see him at almost every forum. Everybody wants to hear from him. And you see the crowd at every event that he attends, just like tax experts and practitioners like you two when you speak. But do you think the knowledge is getting better now? What you're thinking, what people are getting to understand about the tax laws?
Now in the face of the misinformation, the knowledge is getting better. I tell you, those who are positive, those who are positive about Nigeria, those who are positive about the growth of this country, they are seeking for knowledge. If I show you my calendar, you will see the number of places where they are calling me. The churches are calling me, the NGOs are calling, social clubs are calling, come and educate our members. So the people are getting the understanding, and I'm happy that in my lifetime, this is the first time that my discipline, my profession, is at the front burner of discussion in this country. And you can't run away from what we finance your government. You want to have good rate, you want to have this, you want to have that. How do you get those things without being part of those who we finance? The spirit will not come and finance the public expenditure in Nigeria. So I'm happy that this is happening. The understanding is happening. People are seeking knowledge. While those who are also misinforming the public, they are not tired. The social media has become another thing. I don't want to get
Honestly,
there. I'm not an active participant. But what the information, you see all manners of
information.
Emergency task professionals giving lectures on the social media. And you see, you don't just talk about figure. You must have the understanding of the background, the underlying issues behind the figure you are throwing to the public. If you say income, what are the characteristics of income you are talking about? If you say expenditure, what are the characteristics of the expenditure you are talking about? And that is one of the benefits of this new act. The language is simple if you want to learn, and the professionals are available everywhere to teach you if it's difficult to understand. And if you walk to any of the revenue agencies, they are also happy and willing to receive you and give you information. If you go to CITF, for example, there is a desk that will respond to you. So whoever is positive, these new acts, the four of them, I say it because I know it, it's not going to cause any damage to anybody's pocket. But it will make us responsible. Who wants to be an irresponsible citizen? Let's face the fact. If you are successful, if the country has been good to you, I'm not talking about 7%, maybe maximum 10% of these people in this bracket, you are so fortunate to be amongst the 10% of over 200
Why not
million
give
people.
back?
Why not give back? What is difficult? Why sponsor proxy? Why sponsor proxy to cause damage to demarket the whatever? And so it's great that we have a president that has remained steadfast from day one. And that is good. You don't just drop your guard when all the criticism comes in. You just take part of that criticism to see how you better whatever you have before you. So for me, it's a great time, and but we won't stop. We won't stop asking the political leaders to make good use of whatever they collect.
Very important.
Because that is the reason for these trust
issues, yes.
If we address the aspect of go and pay your tax, it's good to say that, and it's the law anyway. But once that money is paid, if you are the governor of my state, what are you looking for in Dubai? Some people work to make Dubai what it is today. What are you looking for in London? So, and are we not even ashamed when some country tell us not to come? So if you are privileged to be a leader of this country at whatever level, can you kindly sit down and do the work? I don't want to see my governor in Dubai. I want to see you in my state working with the people, and with all seriousness, we can turn around the face of this country. Whoever knew that state government will be getting the kind of money they are getting? We shouldn't lose sight of where we are coming from.
And I think that's where the roles of the subnationals come in. Mr. Agbeluyi, you know, you've always, even in your days, president of CITN those days, you always talk about non-state actors and their roles. And you harped on that fact. Do we have a change now with regards to that? This law should not encourage all of that.
Unfortunately, the laws will not operate themselves. We need people to operate the law. I have not seen the activities of non-state actors when it comes to federally collected taxes. I have not seen. These non-state actors are prevalent at local government and state level. And once we dig deep, I'm handling a case with my local government now, where we are made to pay almost 60,000 for basket and local government emblem in 2026. So the more you sing this song, the more some people become recalcitrant. So non-state actors is at the doorstep of local government, the state government. And Nigeria must sit up to take up the state government the people at the subnational to task as to how they want to be remembered as political leaders in their various states.
Now, almost finally, I know you're a lawyer too. So because when I had so, you know, it's easier. You're a tax expert, you're a lawyer. No one can give you this. No, I'm not going to take this. Now, that's why we have the OMS board. You know, it used to be ombudsman, but I think they now call it OMS board to remove,
to be gender
sensitive. Yeah. And that's a very brilliant one. I commended Mr. Oyedele when he told me that. But now that we've gotten to this point, can we also educate Nigerians and let Nigerians know what roles they will play, and they should know that they won't be taken advantage of in any form? Because that's also the fear of some Nigerians. What if I'm taxed and I don't understand how they arrive at this? How do I balance it up?
Okay, you see, there are a lot of inbuilt mechanism in favor of the taxpayer, and that is why I wonder why people are saying what they are saying. Before you get to the ombudsman or the ombuds now,
yes,
if you are not comfortable, you get an assessment. You are within 30 days to raise objections. But your objection must not be because I don't like the chairman of the State Internal Revenue Service or I don't like the president. It must be based on law. You have asked me to come and pay 2 million, and I believe I should pay 200,000, or I shouldn't pay anything. State the law backing your position. Send it to the revenue office, whichever one is relevant to you. And of course, once they get that, they are also duty bound to respond to that. Should you not be satisfied with whatever is their response, then of course you can approach the ombuds to look at what is going on. And should that not be satisfactory, you have the tax appeal tribunal, where the adjudication is not based entirely on technicality. In fact, a law lawyer, unlike the normal court, can come and make his case. So the technicality, the nature of the normal court works, is not what you have in the tax appeal tribunal. So that's a very good avenue. Once you are not comfortable with the previous two layers I've mentioned, so you come to the tax appeal tribunal, and these people will disperse your case almost immediately. If you are still not comfortable, then you go to High Court, depending on whether you are talking about state or federal Nigerian Revenue Service. If you are not comfortable, then you go to Court of Appeal. If you are not comfortable, you go to Supreme. So Nigeria is not a banana republic. Everybody is protected. But sometimes we just have this mindset that we are not protected, people are not looking after us, that kind of a thing. The country that I live in, Nigeria, is not a banana republic. There are a lot of mechanisms that has been put in place to resolve things objectively. And in most cases, the philosophy behind law is that the law is always tilting towards the oppressed, towards the weak, towards the tenant, against the landlord, towards the employee, against the employer, towards the citizen, against the country. That is always there. But I think we need to have more belief in this country.
I think that issue of trust is something that government really needs to work on, and it's really a lot of work. But Mr. Agbeluyi, before I let you go, let's do a review of our economy. You know, we've also stayed on this for some time, the reforms and all of that. We are seeing our inflation figure look better. Even IMF came up with review that the sub-Saharan Africa and everywhere kind of increasing our projections. But in your own understanding and what you've seen, what do you make of 2026? And even the implementation of the laws too, what it means.
What I make of 2026 is that a lot of opportunities, so I'm positioning myself to take the opportunity.
I am positioning myself
that is what I have seen. You see, I know the economic sources does not immediately translate to what you see on the street. But I want anybody to doubt, to say in 2023, in 2024 December, the year preceding 2025, I bought a bag of rice for over 100,000. Practical. Whoever is contesting that should bring his fat out. This last December, I bought between 55 and 60,000. That's almost 100% reduction. So it is not just that the figure is hanging out there. It is practical on the street. And I also note some other things. I do that the price is not as high as it used to be. Up to buying fruit. I know I like a lot of that. So I know how much I pay for carrots. I know how much I used to pay for carrots.
It's a practical example.
You can't deny this fact. Let us not just run the country down because we have some reservations about some people. So now going to 2026, I can't wait for Dangote to list his stock. So if you are in this country, can you position yourself for the benefit? You don't have the money to run through that with Dangote, but can you follow the trend? It comes to the market. There are a lot of stock that are coming to the market. Can you position yourself to get the benefit? If you are a farmer like me, just specialize. Just do something. I know what I can get from 1 acre of land. If you go into planting, the maintenance is not as tedious as it is. So it is not that Agbeluyi is wearing suit, he doesn't know. I have my farm. So there are a lot of opportunities. But behind that opportunity, and my strong advice to the government, because this is a penultimate year for the election.
For the elections. That's also a concern.
Yes, the politicians should just help us. Don't let loose. Don't gain, because it's not easy to move from where we were to where we are today. So we should guide jealously the progress we have seen. So don't let loose. Don't bribe. Don't just throw money at the system so that we don't have inflation again. Once that is done, and you can use this money for the people, it will reflect. I wonder how comfortable some state government, the federal government is also battling with that, but at least there's a difference between what we had from the previous government and now. Your capital expenditure should be higher than your recurrent.
True.
It is only when you invest in capital items that you are creating assets for the country. Once you create, the asset could be in terms of railways, it could be in terms of school, it could be in terms of health, it could be in terms of good road network. The moment you have this, then the populace will thrive. Once they thrive, they will be able to pay this tax we are talking about. Whoever wants to remain a poor man, I don't want to be exempted from tax. Please don't ever accept him from tax. Because once I'm accepted from tax, it shows the status, and I don't want to belong to that status. But everybody will not be at the same level at the same time. So once people thrive, then of course, they'll be able to do carry out their obligation to the country. So I want to carry out my obligation to the country. So bless me more so that I can do more for my country. So I see a great year 2026 for Nigeria.
Interesting stuff. Mr. Samuel Agbeluyi, always interesting having these chats with you. President, West African Union of Tax Institutes, and he's also a former president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. You see how easy it was for him to break all of this down, but I'm sure we've been able to take one or two things from it. Thank you so much for coming to the studio. We really appreciate this. We don't take it for granted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll take a break. When we return,